Jack. 4, 3, 2, 1. We are going to go live now. And I believe that we are live, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to dance. We're going to be cool, and we are live. I'm pretty sure that I've killed 5 seconds. So welcome to the Nights of Automation for July 2025, number 2. As of right now, we're doing these every second and fourth Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific. And today, it's lead magnet madness. Now think about it. I want you to really lean into this. Most business owners think a lead magnet is about like making a pretty PDF or like recording a quick video. But here's the truth. If your free gift is not solving a real painful problem that your prospect cares about, it's not a lead magnet. It's a paperweight. So today, we're going to go ahead and talk about some simple, no BS tests and things that you can do to determine if your free gift is actually doing its job. Because the whole point of a lead magnet is to attract qualified leads and then get them into the sales process and then turn them into a paying client. So if I do my job right, at the end of this live stream, you're going to have some ideas on if your lead magnet is good or it's not. Is it effective? Is it not? So we're going to go ahead and talk about this and prevent you from making freebies that don't actually convert, because that's just a giant waste of your time. So hello everybody, and then of course we have the ever awesome Justin hanging out over here. So he's been kicking butt, by the way. If you've been following, this is his first month as a full-time, and he is killing it. He's asking fantastic questions on client calls. He just loaded a whole Google Ads campaign in about 5 minutes right before we started this live stream. So he is kicking massive super butt. So, okay, let's go ahead and talk about the idea of a lead magnet. So we all know the customer journey has marketing and then sales and then the fulfillment of what they bought, right? A lead magnet is a free gift. This is something you give away for free that does a couple of things for you and should get people in the sales process and get them to buy it, something from you. So, Justin, have I ever talked to you about the teriyaki chicken test before?
No.
All right. So the teriyaki chicken test is very simple. It's actually 2 questions. Do you remember? Now, I know we have some international folks here, but in American shopping malls, when you go to the food court, the area where there's a bunch of food, if there's a Chinese restaurant or an Asian food restaurant, there's always somebody standing out there holding a little plate and like a toothpick of chicken, right?
Yeah.
That is the ultimate perfect lead magnet. That is the best free gift because it provides real value to the problem we solve. Now, in a food court, the problem is I'm hungry, and the solution is food. So a toothpick of chicken is a little bit of value. We're going to give you a little bit of food so you're a little less hungry, right? And it's free. I could go eat a toothpick of chicken and then go get pizza from Sbarro's, right? Or like go to A&W or Arthur Treacher's because I'm 700 years old now, The other thing that it does, though, is it positions you, the business owner, the person with this plate of teriyaki chicken, as the authority for that thing. So if I hand you a toothpick of chicken and you love it, you know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
That's a teriyaki chicken test. Does it provide real-world value? Do I get this value without having to make a purchase? That's the best lead magnet in the world. So anything that you do should go ahead and do that. So whether you're doing a checklist of like, oh, hey, here's 10 things every small business should automate before you're hiring somebody, or maybe it's like maybe there's like some like calculator or assessment. Maybe you're giving people a spreadsheet that's pre-built. It's a template. It says, hey, how much time are you wasting on manual tasks? Or like maybe it's Even something simple like a template or a swipe file. Like, hey, here's how we create a safe search for salespeople so they can configure their dashboard for the day-to-day operations. All of those things solve a problem, a very specific problem, and it's free. So it doesn't matter if you're using Keep for a pipeline, or Pipedrive for a pipeline, or ActiveCampaign, or Go High Level. The bottom line is, here's the simple pieces of data that you need so your sales team can know what they need to do. And so that's the value of a lead magnet here. Now let's talk about something like a case study. So Justin, is a case study valuable? On a scale of like 1 to 10, how valuable would the case study be?
For me, it really depends on what the case study is going to be, how many people you have within the case study. If you just do like, hey, I have this random audience and I had like, 50 people, and it's like, okay, well, this means nothing. If you actually target specifically for the case study and you're like, in a lot of medical journals, for example, be like, hey, we had a case study of like 10,000 individuals who fall under this specific category, so their target audience per se, and then they're like, wow, conclusion, we were right. Like,
Yes.
it makes sense.
So yes, and that's it. So like, is a case study a good free gift? Is it effective? Well, it depends. Does this case study show how a specific problem was solved? If it does, with great specificity, then yes, it is a great case study. If not, not necessarily, right? And then the other thing too is thinking about like, how large is this a problem in the first place that we're solving? Like, is this, if we were doing a case study on, I'm throwing my sales manager hat, which I do on all our client calls often, it's like, hey, I'm a sales director, and people aren't following up with their leads. That's my problem. If I'm staying awake at night wondering about if our sales reps are reaching out to new leads, that's a big problem. And if I provide a case study that shows here's how we took every sales rep and made sure that they were following up with their leads, that's huge. Right? So not all lead magnets are created the same. And even something simple like a webinar or like a small training, these kinds of things, it has to solve a specific problem. So one thing that I want to point out is the format doesn't matter. This whole time we haven't talked about the format. The raw ground level asset. Is this a PDF? Is this a Google Sheet or an Excel spreadsheet? Is this a PDF of a case study, or is this like a video asset? Or maybe it's even something I physically send you in the mail. The format is less important than what it's actually doing for the end user here. And so when we're talking about lead magnets, one thing, there's a couple of things that I want to really like dig into here. And we're going to release this in a week or so. We had an old rubric about lead magnet effectiveness. We're going to revamp this and make it better for absolutely everybody, because not all lead magnets are created the same. So there's a couple of questions you have to ask yourself. So the first question is, and I've talked about this before, does this provide a solution to a specific problem for your target audience? So again, teriyaki chicken test. My specific problem is I'm hungry. Here's a little piece of chicken. This does provide a solution. If it's not a specific problem, it's pretty valueless. Let's say that I'm a plumber. My toilet is leaking. That is the specific problem. If I give you a lead magnet that says, here's the typical gallons per day that you're wasting because your toilet's leaking, it doesn't really provide any value. Really, that's just saying like, hey, here's how big of a problem this is, but you're not telling me how to fix a leaky toilet. Okay? And then the next question you need to ask yourself is like, how big of a problem is this as well? So let's keep going with this plumber idea. And Justin, feel free to break in at any point in time, because you know me, I like to rant. Um, how big is this
Definitely.
problem for your prospect? So like, I have a leaky toilet. I don't know, whatever. If you run an office building and you have 50 leaky toilets, that's a big problem because you can literally be flushing hundreds of dollars or more in water down the toilet. That worked out really well, actually. I wasn't expecting that. So, like, how big is this problem for your prospect based on whatever you're offering? Okay. The third thing that you want to look at is, does this solution you're providing, is this lead magnet, does it require them to purchase anything additional? And this takes us back to the whole customer, the teriyaki chicken customer example. Here is a toothpick of chicken. You get a little bit of value. You get a little bit of food. It solves a little bit of your hunger. Do you have to purchase anything else to get value out of that? No. I can get a free sample. I can get a little bit of food, then I can go somewhere else. You know, the best lead magnet, the best free gift does not require somebody to buy anything else. Because remember, it's marketing, sales, fulfillment. This is all just a marketing activity. So if I can do something for free on my own, great. So I have a leaky toilet. I don't need to buy, an additional O-ring or a new flush knob or something. Maybe the solution is as simple as, hey, just go pull the little knob on the wall and shut the water off, or twist the water off. That's the solution. You have a leaky toilet? Great. Just stop water running to that toilet, and now you're not going to have that problem anymore. Um, and looking at time here, and do we have any comments here? We might. We don't. For anybody that's joining
No.
us, thank you so much for hanging out. Um, Now, this is where we start to get really like deep into things. So we've talked about customer target avatars, customer profiles, right? And there's 4 layers to a target avatar. If you want this worksheet, let me know. We'll go ahead and send it to you. First, there's the demographics. This is what you can see about somebody. Who are they? The next layer is the psychographics of how are they. This is what you can't see. This is how do they think. The next layer is the behavioristics of what's happening in their life. Then that takes us to positioning, where we can say, based on how life is right now, here's what life could be. So when you're talking about your lead magnet, when you're talking about your free gift, this is the question. How likely is it that your free gift is going to be the topic of conversation with your prospects' friends and family? Specifically, friends and family. So if I'm at the mall and I'm hungry and I just got the like dankest, best tasting piece of teriyaki chicken in the world, I might be like, yo, you need to go to the mall and go to like homie's Chinese because his teriyaki chicken's amazing. Or my toilet was leaking like whoa, and Bob the plumber like taught me how to like turn off my toilet. What's the likelihood of that? If it's highly likely and the people are actually going to talk about that, that's an amazing free gift. That is a huge win for your lead magnet. Okay. So then we got a couple more questions here, but I'm going to take a temperature check. I'm going to go ahead and take a pause.
Yeah.
Justin, have I been unclear about anything, or is there anything you would want me to clarify at this point?
No, I mean, all this makes sense. I'm pretty sure everyone can, within respect, in some way, shape, or form, understand what it was like, even if you've never been to a mall, because not many people do, I think, as much as they used to. But once again, I mentioned before, like anyone who has like a Costco membership, they're giving out free samples left and right, regardless of what section it's in.
That's right.
Um, and then that's the other thing too. They do have a food court there, but the food samples are from the food court, and then it's just like who are you marketing towards? It's like, hey, you're shopping, you're going to be here for a while, you're going to be hungry, you might as well try this for free.
That's
But yet
right.
again, the issue with that also resides in there's so many people there And there's a lot of people who come back and take seconds and thirds, but they still never purchase anything, so they fill up on the samples. So that is,
And that's okay. That's a good
but
free gift because you know what? When they're ready to bust out their wallet, they're going to go ahead and buy that, you know, pizza or cracker or sausage or whatever it is that we were selling. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and bring this home because there's really three more main things to think about here. So the next thing to ask yourself is how well does this free gift position your business as the trusted authority in your industry, which that's a lot of words. So here's a better way to say it. I'm in the mall. How well does this free toothpick of chicken position you, Bob's Chinese restaurant, to get teriyaki chicken? Likely there's not a lot of competition here. So if you like teriyaki chicken, you know exactly where to go. Is that doing it for your free gift? So my leaky toilet example, if I taught you how to shut your water off and then maybe flush it so there's nothing in the tank, does that position you as an authority so people think about you? Yes, which kind of tacks into what we were talking about earlier of how is this going to be in the conversation with friends and family. Okay. The next thing, and this is something that we have to acknowledge, competition exists. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Five Guys, it's all there. So how similar is your free gift to the stuff being offered by other people? Okay. So if it's indistinguishable from your competition, it's no good. Okay, if there was 3 Chinese food restaurants in the mall and all of them were giving you a little piece of chicken, it's not really that unique. In fact, if I knew that all my competition was giving out toothpicks of chicken, cool. I'm going to give you a little bit, you know, a little bit of my fried rice, or maybe like here's like part of an egg roll, something like that. Now, if you're not aware of anybody else in your industry doing what you're doing, that's a really good free gift. That's a really good lead magnet. And then here's the most like damning kind of thing, and we'll go ahead and end on this because we know that a free gift, a lead magnet, the whole point is to start the marketing journey and really get them into the sales part of the journey. So hopefully they can buy it and you sell it to them. This is the question. If your free gift was an actual salesperson on your team, how would they be driving the sales conversation? If the answer is it wouldn't, and I should probably fire them, that's a really bad free gift. However, if you can turn around and say, listen, this person is a model salesperson. They're properly disqualifying leads while qualifying our prospects and pushing them to some kind of a deal. That's the best kind of free gift. That's the best kind of lead magnet. And distilling it down, that's the teriyaki chicken test. Is it a free piece of chicken on a toothpick? Did they get the value for free? Does it establish you as the authority? If your lead magnet doesn't do that, you need to look at it again. Let me give you an example, and then we'll close it out. A coupon. 10% off my thing. Okay? Let's go ahead and look through these questions here. Well, does it provide a solution to a specific problem? No. Because it's a coupon. How big is this specific problem? Well, it's not even a problem we're focusing on, so no. Does this coupon require someone to buy something additionally to get the value? Yes. In fact, for a coupon to be effective, people already have to be sold on buying a thing from you. That's why it's not a good free gift. It's not a good lead magnet. In fact, it's going to attract to you probably the clients that you don't want to have, the cheap ones, the people that are just waiting for a deal, right? How likely is this going to be the topic of a conversation with friends and family? Maybe. If the friends and family are also kind of looking for a deal and being kind of cheap. Does it position you as authority? No. Anybody can have a coupon. In fact, I literally bought cat litter yesterday. Somebody had put a manufacturer's coupon on top of the stack of cat litter. I just brought it to the register. I got $1 off cat litter.
everything's electronic now for coupons as well, so literally anyone can just download it.
Yeah, exactly. How similar is it? Everybody's offering a coupon. And if this coupon was an actual salesperson on your team How are they driving the sales conversation? They're not. They're order takers. You do not want order takers on your sales team. Order takers are a dime a dozen. If somebody doesn't come to the conversation and say, here's my credit card, I'm ready to buy, and if they can't have a qualifying conversation, really identify why somebody's there, that's bad. So hopefully that example explains why a coupon is a really bad lead magnet. So that's that. And we're going to go ahead and end it there with the Knights of Automation. Before you do that, any final thoughts or anything you want to add to this, Justin? Because I also know that we both got to run today.
Yeah. As far as a lead magnet goes, not only know what your product is that deserves further attention, and because you know it will draw more than results, it'll draw attention of actual humanistic needs and wants, but also make sure that you also really believe more than the customer that it actually will solve a problem, because customers will be able to pinpoint that. If they see you and know, be like, hey, this person doesn't believe in their product, they can know just based upon the tone of your voice and any kind of expression in general. Focus on that, and that will usually, hopefully within respect, give you a little bit more personal insight and value on what you should be looking for and if it'll actually solve your problem or needs or
100%.
wants.
You nailed it, man. If you would like the rubric to help determine if your free gift is effective, leave a comment. Let us know. Send us a
We
message.
just had one comment from here from Michelle Bell says, ew, no cheap ones. Yes.
Oh,
No,
Michelle Bell. Well, Michelle
absolutely
Bell
not.
is a complete bad. And it's so funny because I don't see that on my producer thing. So thank you for checking those comments. And thanks for watching, Michelle. So if you want a rubric to help determine if your free gift is effectiveness, leave a comment. Let us know. Go say the word rubric. We'll go ahead and send it to you. Until then, thank you for hanging out for the Nights of Automation. We do this on the second and the fourth Thursday of every single month at 4 p.m. Pacific, which means next time we're going to go ahead and do this is going to be on Thursday. I can't believe it's August already. Thursday, August 14th is where we're going to do this next. So thanks so much for watching. If you're watching this as a recording, please leave questions. Let me know what you have to ask, and we will see you then.